Hey guys, welcome to SawtoothWild. I got a video for you today. I wanted to test out all these different fire starters and determine which one is the best. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there on the market. A lot of the stuff you could buy, it's pretty expensive. A lot of stuff you can make yourself. I got even gunpowder I wanted to test. I got red dye diesel. So if you're anything like me, you want the best bang for the buck, but also the best fire starter that you could pretty much own or buy or make. Because if you're hiking, if you're camping, you want something ultra lightweight, but that's super durable, super waterproof, windproof, and that'll get the job done and get a fire going for you. So we've got a whole bunch of fire starters here. Pretty much anything from wood to paste to powders to blocks, wood shavings, sawdust. We got matches, so a whole bunch of different types of stuff here. And they're more like tinders. They're called fire starters, but a true fire starter would be like a flame or a lighter, ferrocerium rod, something that can make a spark. Most of these, you have to have an external source of spark or flame to get started. So they're more like tinders, not starters. But everybody calls them starters, so I'm going to just call this video starters. So I wanted to test a few things. I wanted to test if the fire starters are waterproof and if they will take a spark or do they need a flame to get going. And then I wanted to see the actual burn time, and I was going to record all of that with the stopwatch and show you the spreadsheet at the end of the video. I weighed out 14 grams of all of these. That way they're consistent and it's a fair test, because if you're going to carry a certain amount into the backcountry in a backpack or on a horse or whatever, you could always carry more, obviously, and that'll start you more fires. But if you're weight conscious, you want something that's going to be ultra lightweight but can still do the job. So let's get into it. So for the first test, I was going to break it into groups. This first test is matches. So we have these Pine Mountain matches. This says wind and waterproof, guaranteed to stay lit for up to 25 seconds and will even light after getting wet. These are sold at like a Walmart. I haven't seen them anywhere else, but pretty easy to find, pretty cheap. Next we got the UCO stormproof matches. They come in, oh, where is it? Somewhere over here. They come in little boxes like this, or you can buy them in a waterproof case. The waterproof case is really nice because there's a little striking pad on it, and there's more inside of this case. It stays really dry and really strong. You can't really break this case, but to get a refill, you just buy this little box right here. This you could buy at like REI, Cabela's, Walmart probably. So a lot of local vendors to most people. Then we got the Titan version. So it's the same exact thing, but they're huge, and they come in a case like this. They're really big, take up a lot of space, but they burn very, very well. Next we got the Zippo TMK Typhoon matches. They come in a case like this. This is I got from Walmart. Can probably get this from many other places, but they're pretty much the same thing. A little bit heavier than the UCO Titans, but pretty much the same thing. A little bit more of a robust, beefier case. If you over tighten this case, you will actually crack it, and I have done that before. And then last but not least, I wanted to test just some generic strike anywhere matches. These are not anything special. These just, you can ignite them on pretty much any kind of hard or rocky surface, like a cast iron or something like that. So you have to keep these dry, but we're going to test that, see how resistant and how long they burn compared to the other matches. So we got two different types of matches here. We got just this generic strike anywhere matches, and then we got these stormproof, waterproof, windproof matches. Now all these are pretty much the same, but I just wanted to show how these operate. They just got a really fat striker tip on it, and then halfway down it's got this orange, some of them are like reddish coating on them, and that burns really, really hot and burns underwater. So I wanted to show that. Got this lighter here. Burns really violently and really hot. Dip it in water, pull it out, and it just keeps going. So pretty cool little things. Now all of these higher end matches will do that. Some are just bigger than others, some of them a little bit longer or a little bit hotter than others, but they're all pretty much the same. The strike anywhere matches, obviously, if you dip them in water, they will be put out and you will not be able to get them going again until you dry them back out. So for our next test, we're going to see if we can get one of these lit with just a spark. And if we can, then we'll dip it in water. But doesn't look like you can get them lit. So now what if they're wet? So this thing is soaking wet. And there it goes. So there's water dripping off of it. And it's still going. And all of these matches, the Zippo Titan, or Zippo Typhoon, the UCO Titan, the Pine Mountain, all of them will perform pretty much the same. They'll light even when they're soaking wet. So here I got 13, 14 grams of these Pine Mountain matches. I'm going to set them down right here. A neat little pile. Next we got the UCO Stormproof matches, the regular sized ones. And those are all facing one way, so let's just face these all one way in case that matters. So they look almost identical. Then we got the Titan matches. So these are huge, basically the same thing but much bigger. Here's 14 grams of those. And then we have the Zippo TMK Typhoon matches. 14 grams of those. So it actually is 4 Zippo matches, 14 grams, and 5 UCO Titan matches to hit 14 grams. And then we have just some generic strike anywhere matches. These are just something you can buy pretty much at any hardware store or department store. And I'm just going to dump out 14 grams of strike anywhere matches just to show the difference in burn time. We got a pile of them here. Well, let's test if we can get them to light with just a spark, or if we actually need a lighter. Probably not. Maybe if you shave the wood a little bit around the head. No, probably not. But put a lighter to it, burns immediately. And then hopefully the wood shaft part is dry enough to take off, and see, this one just went out. So okay, so now I'm just gonna start them all with the lighter and time them, see how long they run. So the first one is Pine Mountain. Start. Ooh. Very violent right away. Dang. That gets really hot really fast, but then dies out pretty fast. So basically the wood shafts parts are just finishing up right now. It's going to be done any second. And there it goes. 54 seconds. Now the UCO small. Ooh. Same thing, super violet. Thankfully didn't get the tightens there. I'm just gonna start the tightens. So pretty much the same functionality. Some are bigger, some are smaller. So you decide which one you want to carry. Obviously you have 4 lighters right there versus say almost 20 right there, 15, something like that. Okay, the UCO small, oh, they're both still running. Okay, tighten is done. Still a little bit of a flame right there. And they're done. Okay, so the Titan ended at 40 seconds and the small UCO stormproof matches ended at 1 minute 25 seconds. Next we got the Zippo. Zippo TMK Typhoon. Don't breathe that smoke, that's bad. It's not your typical wood smoke. Alright, the TMK is almost done. A little bit of a flame here on the end. And they're out. So 37 seconds for the TMKs, 40 seconds for the Titans. I'd say that's pretty much a wash, so they're identical. Notice the wood didn't really burn on either of them, really. Okay, now we just got the generic strike anywhere matches. I'm going to light this end too. Well, let's see if these are waterproof. Oh yeah, a little bit. If you get a hot enough flame on it, you can get it started. Not really well, but potentially you could. I'm just gonna shake them around just a little bit. If this was a real world scenario and you got a fire going, you'll probably be moving things around a little bit, getting air to all of it. So I'm gonna try to give it a good honest effort. Well, burning rather well. So we've definitely blown out the other ones out of the water for weight. This is 14 grams and we're already almost 3 minutes. Well, it looks like we're getting pretty close to the end here. Not too much left. Yeah, I think that's it. So 5 minutes. Not bad. 5 minutes, 14 grams. Alright, this next part of the test, we got these almost like a particle board, almost like an MDF type wood fiber style. We got the Coghlan's fire lighters. These have like a little match head on them. They claim each stick burns approximately 6 minutes. So to achieve 14 grams, it's just shy of 3 sticks. Then we got the Coghlan's waterproof fire sticks. Almost the same thing, just much bigger. There's no match head on them. Says it's non-toxic, leaves no odor, burns completely. Claims it's waterproof, does not give you a runtime. Then we got the Rutland squares. These are sold at Ace. I don't know if they're sold anywhere else. Pretty much the same thing as the fire stick, except it's in a cube, in a block, should I say. No flare-ups, non-toxic, works great even when wet. And it says it's made of compressed recycled wood chips, paper fiber, and wax. Burn up to 10 minutes per square, no kindling required. And then we have the Fire and Flavor Premium All Natural Biomass Cube, carbon neutral, odorless and non-toxic, made from renewable sources. Burn time 8 to 10 minutes. Composition is 50% non-GMO vegetable wax and 50% wood. So if you're a greenie, this is what you buy. But I don't know how you're helping the environment by burning things. So I'm going to test them all right here. The first one, let's see. We should do the Coghlan's waterproof, or Coghlan's fire lighters. So this is what they look like. A match head on them. So we're going to see if we can get this thing lit with just a spark. So I'm going to break it open, expose some of the fibers in there. Well, not really well. Can you light it if it's wet? So, I got it soaking wet there. And there it is, it's lit. Awesome. Next, let's try the waterproof fire stick. Not really well. Well, there it goes. So, waterproof fire stick does eventually light, even if it's soaking wet. So, pretty good results there. Next, let's test the Rutland squares. Oh, I almost got it. So, not really well. soaking wet. Actually almost seems to beat off the water a little bit. And there it goes. So it takes a little bit of flame, but you can get it going. Now let's test the biomass. Pretty much the same thing, it's a little bit different color. Let's expose some fresh fibers there. Oh, there it goes. Yep, so this one took off with just a spark, pretty well. Oh, and that one just took off also without even, I wasn't even aiming at that one, so pretty cool. Let's dip it in water. Get this thing soaked. Oh, not burning really well. Nope, does not light when wet. Maybe eventually with enough flame, but as it is, does not light well when wet. That is pretty impressive. Alright, we got 14 grams of each one of these. And I stacked those on top of each other just to try to give it the best, longest runtime scenario that it could possibly have, because obviously if you spread that out, it's going to burn very, very fast. You could shred that into a million pieces, it'll burn immediately, but this is kind of how it comes pre-packaged. So anytime there's multiple pieces like this, I'm just going to stack them up on top of each other. So let's light it up. Very violent start with the match heads. There goes that one. Alright, they're all burning. This is a really nice ferrocerium rod. Looks like some kind of rosewood or some kind of hardwood handle. They gave us these at the search and rescue team I was a part of, and they basically said you can shave this handle and use that as tinder if you really, really need it. Can't find anything else. And this little steel is extremely sharp. Gets some really hot sparks off this thing. So I love this. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit so we don't set any of this other stuff on fire. Look at the different burn styles going on here. This whole thing is on fire. This stick is just burning on the end. Same thing with the Rutland square. And the Coughlin's fire lighters are almost entirely consumed too. So if you're concerned with flame height, say your tinder's pretty big stuff and you can't get it small enough to sit on top of your starters, maybe going with the biomass fire and flavor is your best scenario because it burns pretty tall. Ooh, that is warm. Is that other one still burning?
It just went out, I think. It might still be going. It's hidden under the snow now.
So once these look like they need to maybe get flipped over, I'll flip them over all at once, just to try to keep the results as similar as possible. They're so different that you can't exactly keep it all identical, but Some of them will burn very well if they're exposed to oxygen. Some of them will create their own oxygen. So in a real world scenario, you'll probably be flipping them around inside your fire. So I'm going to try to mimic that as best as I can. Now while I'm sitting here warming up by the fire, let me tell you about my future sponsor. I hope it happens someday. This is my favorite tea, made by Ahmad out of England, I believe. We don't support the Brits, but we do like their tea. Well, we've just passed 6 minutes on all of these, and they look like they still have plenty of life left. So, doing very well. It's a little bit windy, but just enough to give these a good test. Does not look like the wind is going to put them out anytime soon. So all of these have burned for at least 10 minutes now. The fire stick looks like it's on its last leg. The biomass cubes look like they're doing pretty good. The Rutland square is doing pretty good. And the Coughlin's fire lighters are doing pretty good. So, oh, this one looks like it might be going out. Let's try to flip it. There it goes. Oh no, these have gone out. It's getting really windy. Oh, there it goes. So it looks like the biomass cube is a lot more susceptible to wind than these other three are. But I'm just going to keep the timer running on that. We lost just a couple seconds on it. Nope, I think we're done with the biomass. Okay, 11 minutes, 18 seconds on that one. These others are still doing very well. Burned the least amount of time. Oh, the fire stick just went out. 12 minutes on the fire stick. Yep, does not take... Oh, is it burning a little bit? Nope, it's out. So I'm not going to count that. So these two are out. Now it's just the Coughlin's versus the Rutland. And the Coughlin's just went out. Oh, back in the game. It's going for the 40-yard line. The Coughlin's firelighters just went out at 13 minutes 56 seconds. Very impressive. So almost 14 minutes for 14 grams. That's pretty good. But the Rutland's obviously doing better. It's still going, still hanging in there. And it too was 14 grams to start with. And the Rutland is out. 14 minutes 24 seconds. I'd say they're pretty much the same. Yep, it will not take a flame anymore. Awesome. So they all leave a whole bunch of stuff left over. So this is pretty much dead weight, since whatever this is doesn't burn. Alright, the next category, we got the sort of like solid fuel cubes. This is by Survive Outdoors Longer, all-weather fire cubes. Now they got some fast fire wrappers in here, so I don't think they actually make this. They probably just buy this, put it in their own package. But it says it's wind and waterproof, non-toxic, smokeless, and odorless. And one cube burns for 10 to 12 minutes of sustained 1300 degree flames. So pretty impressive. It says it can be used as a fuel tab for a lightweight backpacking stove. Next we got the CSL Ignito. I got this at Ace. I don't know if they sold this anywhere else. I've never seen it before. But they seem like pretty much the same thing, except they're in like little packages that according to the box you actually light the wrapper on fire But to make this an even fair test, we're gonna take it out of the wrapper and burn just the product. Burns for up to 15 minutes, no fumes, no residue, and that's about it. The next one, we got the Coughlin's fuel tablets. So this is like your S-bit style stove tablets, but they're Coughlin's brand. It's just solid fuel. Doesn't really say how long it'll burn or what temperature or anything like that, but I'm assuming it's pretty much the same thing as the S-bit, but I don't have those to test here. And the last thing is these Duraflame Fire Start cubes. These also show you lighting the wrapper. It says it's safer than charcoal lighter fluid, instant lighting, just like the wrapper. Waterproof because it's individually wrapped. Portable, compact size. So these, if you open the wrapper, actually smell like fuel, like diesel or gasoline fuel. So if you really don't want your backpack smelling like that on accident, or if you don't want to get that smell on your fingers or whatever, if you're hunting, you're kind of concerned about the smells, that one would probably be the one to stay away from because it is very, very strong smelling. And in my whole collection of fire starters here, this is the one that I could smell really, really strongly, even through the bag. So, but I'm also gonna burn just the product and not the wrapper. Just try to keep the test as consistent as possible. So the first test, we're gonna see if we can get the SOL cube lit with just a spark. They come in these little wrappers, and they're like little cubes. I already broke some earlier. So let's see if we can get it started with just a spark. Oh, there it goes. So you need to make it really, really fine, but once you get that far, then you can start it. And I'm gonna dip this piece in the water. Get this thing soaking wet. It actually floats, so that's cool. Let's see if we can get this thing started with a lighter. Oop, there it goes. Oh, it's out. Yep, so even wet doesn't really phase this. It still lights, still works just fine. So next up we got the CSL Ignito. I opened one up earlier. So this feels like the same stuff, but it's just a little bit more brittle. Kind of snaps really crisp. The other stuff almost like crumbles. This stuff's snappy. So maybe a little bit different composition. Let's try getting some of the product broken up really small. Oh, there it goes. So, takes a spark eventually. Now let's dunk this piece in water. Get the pine needle off. And ignites immediately with the flame. So, pretty awesome. Awesome stuff. Next up we got the Coughlin's fuel tablets. We got some chunks already broken up in here. This stuff is not the same thing. It is very, very tough. Very hard. So, just expose some fresh surface. I would say that's a no. Oh, and then with enough of a lighter, it does catch fire eventually. And then the last thing in this category are the Duraflame Fire Start Cubes. You can smell it through the wrapper. It smells like diesel. I think I have a piece in here. I had some little pieces in here already broken up. This stuff almost feels the same as the fast fire, wet fire stuff. Really crumbly, but it's gray, a little bit of a different color. Got some chunks of black and white in it. Not sure what that is, but let's see if we can get a spark going. It's very soft, almost like a dough. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so can take a spark. Well, it tries to start but doesn't. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. So just dunked it in water and it's still lit relatively fast. Well, our whole setup is burning now. Immediate lighting. Same thing there. Well, that one takes a little bit longer. Whoa. Burning my cable. Oh my gosh. I think the lighter's out. Well then. There goes that stuff. Okay, the fuel tablet's just lit. Okay, lighter's out. Duraflame is taking a bit right now. There goes the Duraflame. Okay, all four are lit. You can see the flame difference between these two and these two. That thing is lit, but it is very, very small, very tame flame. That still hasn't fully started yet, and these are blowing very hard. The fuel tablets are burning very, very mildly. Flame is pretty tall, I guess, but nowhere near as hot as these two. That one's really catching up now. And like the other times, if this thing looks like it needs to get flipped, I'm going to just push it around a little bit like you would in a real fire, just to make sure it gets all the air it needs to keep burning. Of course, I got my safety glasses. Always want to have safety glasses when you're playing with fire and explosives. We got some diesel here coming right up. We got some gunpowder. We got some real fat wood. This was donated by my friend Jeff for the cause. Here's a 50 BMG round I bought at a gas station here in Montana. Just how every gas station should be. I must say the Coughlin's fuel tablets are burning very, very cleanly. The Duraflame fire start cube is burning very, very dirty. There's a lot of black smoke coming off of that one. And then the other two, the wet fire or the all-weather fast fire, wet fire type of thing, and the CSL Ignito are both burning about the same. Looks like it's probably the same type of product. The CSL Ignito is pretty much done. 7 minutes, 6 seconds. Oh, this lighter's dead. Gotta get another lighter. The other three are doing well. The Duraflame is doing very well. Ooh. Honey. So it looks like the fuel tablets are on their last leg. It's making really interesting residue. I don't know what you'd call this. But still burning. The Duraflame is doing very well. And the SOL fast fire cubes are almost done. But I did start this one a minute earlier than the Duraflame fast fire. Oh my gosh. Duraflame fire start. The fast fire is a minute longer burning so far. But look at the fire on that thing. That would definitely get your tinders and your wet wood and all that going versus that one. That one is almost out. Still going. Yep, there it is. Oh, is it still in? Nope, it's out. Okay. That's done. 12 minutes, 47 seconds. These two are still going. That one is almost out. The fuel tablets, the Duraflame fire start is going very, very well. Over 12 minutes for these two now. Not much life left in these fuel tablets, but it's still there. So both of these have already passed 14 minutes, so more than 1 minute per gram. That is pretty impressive. Of course, the Duraflame fire start is burning way better than the Coughlin's fuel tablets. Way higher of a flame, but can't call that one out yet. Just a little bit left. Oh, Duraflame's out. 14 minutes, 43 seconds. The fuel tablets are almost dead. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but there is a tiny little flame still in there. And there it goes. It's out. 15 minutes, 48 seconds. Okay, for our next category, we got the Coghlan's Tinder. They come in two different packages, same exact part number and barcode number. They got like a pinkish and a whitish. I want to say they're different because being in the packages and not open, the pink actually looks a little bit wetter than the whitish one. But for today's test, we're going to try the pink ones. And then the tried and true Vaseline and cotton balls trick. So this is just some Walmart brand petroleum jelly, 100% pure. And I mixed that with a whole bunch of cotton balls earlier. And we'll see how these two compare. This also looks kind of like a cotton ball mixture. It's just not as messy. This absolutely gets super messy, and if it ever squeezes out of the baggie or the bottle that you have it in, it is going to make a complete mess in your backpack and on your hands when you're dealing with it. So this is a pain, and that's why I do like these a little bit better. But not everybody has that, and everybody has some Vaseline in their house. So let's try these two. Just caught on fire. That's pretty funny. This. Okay. Get one of these out. And see if we can get this thing started with just a spark. All the fibers exposed. Also messy. There it goes. Awesome. Now let's see if we can start it with it soaking wet. Well, there it goes. Not too bad. Awesome. Next up we got the cotton balls and Vaseline. See if I can get it started with the spark. Maybe. There it goes. I'll start the timer on that one. Or I'll just put it out actually. Let's try water test. Well, I'd say that's a success. I'll start the timer. And that one. Okay, two comparable products. Let's see how long they burn. I must say they both make a lot of smoke. Looks like the cotton balls and Vaseline is taking over pretty fast. It's already got half of it started. The Coghlan's tinder is still burning just the first top three. It's getting to me. Burning really hard now. And that's 14 grams of each. So we're already 4 minutes in, at least. They look to be burning pretty much the same. Same heat, same smoke, same everything. So I'd say the Coghlan's tinders are basically Vaseline cotton balls, but much cleaner and easier to deal with and work with. Very warm, very black smoke, but they give off a good amount of heat and the flame is pretty tall. There's not much more life left in that one. And it's out. 10 minutes, 20 seconds. Yep, it's done.
Syrup.
Okay, we got just a little bit of life left out of the Coghlan's tinder. Looks like it's about to go out any minute now, any second now actually. We're over 13 minutes on that one. If this makes 14 minutes, that would be another one that hits the 1 minute per gram category, which is pretty impressive. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. 14 minutes. Awesome.
And those are what you put in my pack.
And it's gone. 14 minutes, 37 seconds. Pretty impressive. About the same amount of leftover residual cotton. Pretty much the same thing. Looks like the tinder is a little bit better and a lot less messy. The next category we got is like the wood-based stuff. So we got some fat wood right here. This is just some really pitched filled wood. Gonna test some of that. We got the Royal Oak tumbleweeds. I got this from Ace. Just says guaranteed, quick, simple, and easy. Natural fire starters. Doesn't say how long it's gonna run. Non-toxic, no odors, alternative to lighter fluid, gets charcoal ready fast. We got the Zippo tinder shreds. I got these at REI. This looks like the same thing, but just a little bit fancier. It says it will take a spark or flame, so we'll test that. Burns up to 8 minutes, water resistant. Natural shredded pine, water resistant paraffin wax coating, resealable package. So this thing just seems like a really high-end version of the tumbleweeds. They're about the same price. Next, another product from Coghlan's. We got the fire disc. This thing is in a Ziploc baggie because if you try to take a little piece off of this, it turns into an absolute mess. It's basically just sawdust glued together with something, wax or whatever. And once you keep it in a disc, it's fine, but if you try to break a little piece off, it becomes a complete mess. And then we got a similar product, also from REI, Lightning Bug fire starters. This looks like the same thing as the Coghlan's fire disc. It's a different color, much smaller little pieces. But says it's guaranteed to light easily and burn strong for 7 minutes, made in the USA. So we always like to support USA companies here on Sawtooth Wild. Small rounded pine scented fire starters made of resinous pine pitchwood blended with a small amount of food grade paraffin. So yeah, I'm going to try that. So these are the wood based sawdust and wood shreds and fat wood based products. Okay, so first off, let's test the fat wood to see if we can get it to start with the spark. Try to expose some of that wood there. I'd say that's a no. And let's try dipping it in water. I've never done this before, so this is new to me too. Doesn't do super well wet. The dry end starts pretty easily. Takes a little bit, even with the flame though, even if it's dry. So that's something to keep in mind. You need a pretty good jet lighter to get this stuff going fast. Next up we got the Royal Oak. So very interesting stuff. Very waxy. This one might actually light with the spark. This one did not claim to be able to light with the spark. So, oh, there it goes. Awesome. So let's see if it'll work. Soaking wet. Yep, there it goes. Just lit. And it went out again. Takes a little bit of persuading. Well, it is lit. So I don't know if I should count that or not for being able to light when water soaked in water, but it is burning, so it didn't take too long. So I'd say that's a success. Okay, next up we got the Zippo tinders. Pretty much the same thing as the Royal Oak, a little bit more compact. Says it's supposed to take a spark to start, so I'm going to open it up a little bit. Oh. Nope, there it goes. Starts with the spark. Now let's dip this in the water. Actually kind of beads the water off, so it is coated with wax or something. And there it goes. This one's actually burning better. And died. Well, I don't know if we'd count that. Probably count that one, just like we did the last one. Next we got the Coghlan's fire disc. I'm just going to break off some pieces of it. Very crumbly. Does not appear to light with the spark. And does not appear to light very well when it's wet either. Well, there it goes. We'll count it. We'll count it. And then the last thing is the lightning bug. Oh, there it goes. So it takes a spark. Nice. How about when it's wet? Not really well. No, I'd say that's a fail. Fail on that one. So now we got 14 grams of each of these samples. Let's light them all on fire, see how long they burn. First off, we got fat wood. Next up, we got the Royal Oak Tumbleweed. So as you can see, definitely a different size if you're talking about compactability there. Next we got Zippo tinders. So these are a little bit smaller, so it takes 2 of them to reach 14 grams. Then we got the Coghlan's. I tried to keep it in one piece as best I could, but it just was not working out. So we got powder. If you're in the market for this type of product, you better just get the lightning bug because they actually hold together. That barely started, but it's lit. Royal Oak's going. Zippo's going. Coghlan's is lit.
And Fatwood died.
Oh. The lightning bug is going, and I reset the fatwood since it died. That should do it. Okay. So right off the bat we got quite the difference here in flames. The fat wood is barely taken off. The royal oak is almost completely consumed. The Zippo's right behind it. The Coghlan's fire disc is actually doing pretty good. It's just lightly lit. The back hasn't even started yet. And the lightning bug, so far only one and just a little bit of the other one is lit. So I'm guessing this royal oak's probably going to be the first one to die out. The fat wood is making a lot of black smoke. So I actually forgot to run the fat wood, but I will edit the video. I'll find out exactly when I started it, and I will add that onto what I have there. But you can see the fat wood is just pouring that sap, that resin out of there. Pretty cool. Looks like the tumbleweed by royal oak is actually dying down, and the fat wood is really taking up. I also got to say I didn't bring any water with me, so I actually just put snow from literally right here into my cup and melted it over the fire. So that's how I'm getting my water to do this test, because I didn't bring any with me. Burning really good. They're all lit, they're all burning well. I am staying warm up here. My feet are freaking cold. I think I almost about have frostbite, but we're doing good here. My upper half is pretty warm with the vest and the hat and the hoodie and stuff, and then having this fire right in front of me. So doing well there. Alright, we're over 6 minutes on all of them. I'd say they're all pretty much comparable flame size. The lightning bug's actually doing pretty good, getting pretty high up there. The fat wood looks like it's just roaring. To me it looks like the darkest fire. It's pretty orange. I'm not sure how the camera's picking it up. The Zippo is definitely on the last leg there. Oh, Coghlan's and Zippo's both done. A little bit, I'm not going to count it. The Zippo is done. Oh, the royal oak is done. Yep. So slightly missed the ending of that one, but that's okay. We're pretty close. So it looks like our two shredded ones, the Zippo and the royal oak tumbleweeds, are both done. The Coghlan's fire disc and the lightning bug are hanging in there, just last bits of sawdust burning up. The fat wood is still going strong. It might have a whole minute or two left in it. Oh, that's out. Lightning bug is out, 12 minutes 24 seconds. Coghlan's is still going. There might be a little bit of life left in this one too. Yep, I'll count it. So it's important to get air in there, otherwise they burn out. With these sawdust types, got to stir them around a little bit. So I'm assuming if this was a real world scenario, a little fire, things are going to be moving around, you're going to be poking at it, so this is how it's going to perform. The Coghlan's is out. 13 minutes 44, fat wood is out. 12 minutes 28. It's actually probably closer to 13 minutes 28. And the lightning bug is still hanging in there. In this category, that is our champ, made in USA. There it goes. 14 minutes 11 seconds on the lightning bug. That just made our 14 minutes 14 gram goal. The fat wood left a big chunk and a lot of sticky sap. I'm wondering if it'll keep going. Yep, it will. So we're going to keep that going. That too might actually hit our 14-minute mark. Okay, looks like the fat wood is pretty much done. Tiniest little flame on that. That's it. 1337 plus maybe about a minute or so. So I'm guessing that just beat our 14-minute goal. Awesome. So this next test, how does gunpowder work to start a fire? So if you were in the woods, you had absolutely nothing left, you got ammo with you. This is a 50 BMG, you can hear the powder inside. Can you disassemble one of these, pour it in some little tinder pile and get a fire going? Will it just burn up instantaneously, too fast to get a fire going, or can it actually be used? So I got some powder here with me today. This is just some Hodgdon 4198. This is stuff you'd use in 223 Remington, 6mm PPC, 35 Remington, 444 Marlin, that kind of stuff. So just a generic powder that I had. I'm actually going to put this far away from me. And then I got 14 grams of it measured out right here. I'm going to try one without anything, and then I'm going to try another one on a pile of very, very dry hay. So this would be best case scenario if you can find some dried grass, if you can get a fire going that way. So this is 14 grams of gunpowder, and I'm obviously not going to dump it in water because we all know that if gunpowder gets wet, it's completely useless. But I'm just going to hit it with a spark, and we'll see what happens. And it might be a little explosive. Alright, ready? Not even? What? Must have gotten wet. Ooh. Look at that. Stop. That 8 seconds. So not bad. That actually burned longer than I thought it would. For some reason it didn't take off right away. But let's see, we got a pile of hay here. Will it start the fire? Might be too much hay, huh? All right. Ooh. Yes, it will start a fire on hay. That is almost done. That hay just burned so fast. A little bit left there, the sun burned. Yeah, not going very well. That wasn't even, I didn't even get the timer started. That was probably, what, 3 seconds? Not even.
Yeah.
So, possibly could start a fire with gunpowder. So 14 grams of gunpowder is about maybe 3.5 30-06 shells. So, which is what most people can get out of their rifle if it's inside your magazine or if you got some on your belt or something like that. So that's what 3.5 shells worth of gunpowder looks like. Okay, for the next test I got this Ace Camp Longtime Flame Stick, fire starting waterproof stick. These are actually really interesting. They look like little pieces of plastic, really. Little pieces of plastic. Says they're waterproof, burn long time. Well, I don't know. Pretty much any plastic would burn, in my opinion. But I figured if we're burning plastic, what if I just lit a Bic lighter on fire? This is one of the minis. This is full, and it weighed about 12 grams. So you got a little bit of metal on here, some flint and stuff, so some parts that won't burn. But will this get a fire started? There's a lot of plastic here. There's butane inside. Will this just make it an explosion, or will it burn pretty well? So we're just going to light that with the lighter, and then we're going to light this with the lighter. This will not take a spark just because it's plastic. But once you do get it lit, it will burn pretty well. So 14 grams of these is actually this much. It's a lot. As you can see, it takes a little bit of effort to get it going. Well, there it goes. Start the timer on that. And I'm actually a little bit nervous about this one, but let's see what happens if you light this. Nope. There it goes. A little bit of butane coming out of there. So all the butane's coming out. Start the timer on that one. So yeah, pretty interesting. Will we get 14 minutes out of these? I don't know. Maybe if we get 12 minutes out of that one, it will balance out because that weighs 12 grams. But as you can see, that plastic is boiling on there. Yep, it's dying down. Definitely not burning as good as this is. Nope, is it out? Nope. Looks like it's still going. You can't see the flame though. That stuff is very warm, burning very clean. So I wouldn't say that's a great alternative to fire starter, considering you can't even see the flame. So it is doing something, but oh, it just shot the spring out. It's melting it, but I do not see a flame on it. Very, very different results between these two plasticky type materials. I don't even know if I can count that as burning because I do not see a flame. I could hold my hand about an inch away from it before it gets too hot. Alright, looks like things are slowing down a little bit. We're at 3 minutes for both of them. That lighter is doing some weird things. It's just melting and I do not see a flame. The lighter is just boiling. Okay, there's a little bit of a flame there on the red part. Right. It appears that the lighter is still burning and it's not melting because this is hot. It's actually not hot at all. The tiniest little bit of a flame on that one. Okay, I'd say that one's done. 9 minutes, 1 second. The lighter is still doing things. No visible flame. Okay, I'm not sure if we could call that a fire starter. It is burning, but I do not see a flame hardly at all. Very, very interesting. I've never burned a lighter before. It's probably very hot. Well, we're already at 13 minutes and there's still a little bit of a flame on there. And there it goes. 13 minutes and 4 seconds on the Bic lighter. Pretty cool. For the next test, we got hand sanitizer. Most people have hand sanitizer in their cars, in their backpacks, in their schools, in their churches, whatever. Easy to find, pretty much can buy it at any gas station. How well does this stuff burn? And should you carry fire starter with you if you already have hand sanitizer with you? This is just some generic store brand stuff. It's got ethyl alcohol, 70%. This is pretty much what you can find anywhere else. We got Sterno, green. This is made to be a sustainable and biodegradable canned heat. The whole can says 2.25 hour burn time. So my guess is it's pretty much the same thing as hand sanitizer, but doesn't have some of the ingredients. And then yet another Coghlan's product. This is the fire paste. Smells very much so like hand sanitizer, so I'm guessing it's a very comparable product. So let's test them out. Because they're liquid, I'm not going to dip them in water. I'm just going to put them in these jar lids. I measured out 14 grams of fire paste right there. Here's 14 grams of hand sanitizer. And now we're going to measure out 14 grams of Sterno. Alright, we got fire paste, hand sanitizer, and Sterno. Oh, forgot this one don't work. This one. Start that one. Hand sanitizer does not work very well. Sterno. That's going. The fire paste is definitely going. The Sterno is sizzling, but you can't really see a flame. The hand sanitizer is not. Well, the Sterno's got a little bit of a flame, but nothing like the fire paste. The fire paste is a nice fireball. Oh, looks like the silicone is burning in that in the lid. So if silicone keeps burning after the fire paste is gone, we're just not going to count it. The hand sanitizer is burning. I didn't realize it was burning. I didn't start the timer on that one. But it did not light very well, so I don't think that's a good fire starter, so I'm not even going to count. Not even going to count it. Fire paste almost looks like it's halfway done. Looks like the hand sanitizer is pretty much done, so if it did burn, it didn't burn very long. Fire paste is going out. The last little bit. Oh, it's gone. 5 minutes, 41 seconds on the fire paste. Sterno's still going strong. The flame's not very high, but does have a pretty good long run time. We're already at 9 minutes on the Sterno. It might have just about a minute left. Okay, we're on the last little bit on the Sterno. Looks like it's about to go out. And we just passed 11 minutes. Still bubbling a little bit. Oh, there it goes. 12 minutes, 2 seconds on the sterno. Okay, in the last test, we just wanted to do some diesel and some used motor oil. The scale is not working right now, probably because of the cold. So I was just going to pour some in here. We're just going to see if it's even flammable. If it's even flammable at all with the spark, or if it needs a lighter. So you got a truck or you got an airplane that broke down, you have access to diesel, you have access to used motor oil. This is full synthetic. I am not sure if it's going to burn well at all. I'm just going to estimate about the same amount. We're going to see if it'll take a spark or if it needs a lighter and if it'll even burn at all. So here's the motor oil and diesel. Neither takes a spark. The motor oil will not ignite even with the lighter. This is used from my Jeep. Full synthetic. Same thing with the diesel. So even though I don't have exactly 14 grams of each, they don't even burn at all. So that concludes the test. So I'm going to get home, combine all the video clips, do all the number crunching, and post the results. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more.